For today's video, I'm going to do something I've never done on my channel as of today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and scroll all the way down to the very beginning. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Welcome to the Hiya Borkers, I'm Jalen Fulf, and this is a very different video from what you would normally see on my channel. Today, I'm going to be going into the old days of my YouTube channel and reacting to some of the old content that I've had from my teen years. I'm talking about when I was a young little teenager, age 15, 16 years old. I was doing this shit. Roblox Bloopers. And guess who plagued me into doing it? Yes. This guy. This was back when I was using the old username JD02022092. Oh my god, that's a mouthful. I chose that username on a stupid basis. I was childish, and I thought it was okay to be different and use my numbers of the date of birth, along with the initials of my real name. Well, it turned out to be a mouthful early. And it still was a mouthful. And even when I removed the zeros from the username, like a couple years after the series came out, it was still a mouthful. So much so that Damn Dog Games' Corey Coyote actually begged me to change the username, and here I am now, Jalen Fulf. But that's not why I'm doing this reaction video. I'm doing this reaction video because I've hit 2,000 followers on Twitter. And to torture myself, I want to go back into the mind of 16-year-old JD and see what he was doing back then, try to get my memory back, and hopefully just either insult myself or compliment myself for the stuff I did to start my channel. So, without further ado, I'm actually going to go ahead and remove these from my watch history just to get a clean start out of it. Without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and before I go on, I am aware that yes, I can go into my dashboard, my Creator Studio, and go into my Videos tab when it loads. Go into my Video Manager tab and go right to the very last page and go right there. But this seemed a little bit easier for me, because it's right there, and this is what you're gonna see when you go into my channel, scroll all the way down to the very end. This is what you're gonna see. I'm gonna hop right in, and actually, instead of going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm gonna start on episode 8. Because these last 3 episodes of Roblox Bloopers defined what people remember me for. These 3 episodes.
Upload Corner, a company of 13.
Yep. The old days when Upload Corner was still around. To be honest, that was a shitty name to make for a self-made film company. I had no ideas what to do with it, so what I did was try and do some comedy stuff like RCT3 Death Parks, Super Mario 64 bloopers, and this Roblox Bloopers. Very quickly, when I started the channel, I had a very uninteresting logo that had like one half was red, one half was blue, and in the middle seemed like a green plumb bob because I wanted to start off with The Sims 2 and making machinima out of that. I didn't have any ideas for it, so I went straight into one of my other favorite games, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and started with that. Unfortunately, RC23 Death Park and Super Mario 64 bloopers are no longer on my channel, so this is what I have left to react to.
Ow, dang it!
I started the episode off by doing a little parody of what Starman 3, aka Jacob the M Hero, did with his "I'ma Gonna Getcha" scenes. And try doing it on Sword Fight on the Heights by John Shedletsky, or many of you may know him as the old Telemon back in the day. What was I doing with Big Head? Just doing random shit on Sword Fight on the Heights when I had no combat skill in computer games whatsoever. I was a teen back then, and I had no idea. But to be honest, when I made that scene, I was still, inspired by Starman 3, who I no longer have contact with, and some of you may know today as, I don't want to bring drama into a video, so I'm not going to mention it.
NEDM.
NEDM. I think during when I made Roblox Bloopers episode, I believe it was either starting of 7 or 8. This is one of those episodes where I was inspired by YTMND and some of the fad/memes from that website back when stuff was happening around 2004, 2005, and I kind of wanted to reflect off of that history when I was still on that website before I started this YouTube channel, and this was one of the memes on there. I forgot what song was used in this little segment, but it's definitely on that website, on that little YTMND wiki. If you find the meme on there, NEDM, it would show you what originally came from that meme and what song was used and how the meme is being spread. I believe one of the memes that spawned off of NEDM was Gravity Cat Not Amused. If you remember, if you were like me and you remember stuff like, what's that series called? The series was called Idiots of Gary's Mod, and it was kind of that Robot Chicken-esque style, which is basically similar to what this was, and I didn't even know at the time what Robot Chicken was.
Hey, dude, what's up, man? Obama.
For those of you that, let's just put it this way. This was during the 2008 elections when Barack Obama won over John McCain in the November 8 elections. I was still friends with a guy called, if you remember him, Duvad Hodan. I can put link his channel in the description, but this was one of the clips that he sent me through MSN Messenger, and I was like, oh, I could definitely make a scene out of this. I'm like, oh shit, yes, I can definitely make a scene out of this. But the way he said Obama, you can see it in the subtitles. It sounded like, yeah, you could definitely see it in the subtitles. Let me just go back a little steps.
What's up, man? Obama.
Yup. That. It sounded like that almost. But I knew what he was saying in the long run, so that was just a little bit of me being a dum-dum and stealing stuff for the purposes of entertaining all of you guys. Thanks, Duvad.
JD229 was so stupid.
Oh, I've loved making shit sketches in Lemur Boy 7's places. I was surprised though that I still remember Lemur Boy 7 himself. He also had a little thing with Nintendo's property and stuff like that, that I was like, oh yeah, maybe there's some stuff in his places I could do. Until later on when I made my own, studio to make some of my own stuff, I'm like, okay, perhaps I can do something here. And yeah, the result was this. And for the whole entire series of Roblox Bloopers, I intended to make my character as dumb as he looked. The big head, the whole, blatant promotion of Upload Corner itself. That's what I intended to do back in the day, and I still remember it. Oh my god. How many more times do I have to embarrass myself now?
Blooper, would you stop being a noob and get off my bed?
Blooper, would you stop being a noob and get off my bed? Well, for one thing, I used to be I'm still friends with Yoshi Man today, and he had a whole network of friends that would hang out in his land, and Yoshi Man had a house specifically designed for me. Today, the house is exactly not the same colors as, well, put it this way, it's not the same colors as it was back then when I filmed it. I thought about trying a little scene where my character was gonna be a little dick to someone who was not listening to them and being a noob. And coincidentally, you guys, if you remember Blooper 239 on Roblox, he had an alternate account called Bloopa245. That was the account he used. I don't remember if it was trying to be newbie, but for the intent purposes of this video, I made him look like a noob when I begged him to get off my bed. I still don't have contact with Blooper 239 today. I'm sure Yoshi Man does. If he is, please get him over here.
I think it's Massachusetts.
I think it's Massachusetts. That was actually, if you know me for a long time and have seen my last PAX East vlog, you may know that I am a huge, huge fan of Homestar Runner in those days. I kind of had an idea with the scene that was in here, and the scene, I believe the little flash video that I took it from was a flash on Homestar Runner called, I believe the scene was called Where the Crap Are We? And that was a line from that little scene. And you guys remember me, and if you know me for a while, you know I used to live up in Massachusetts. That made me laugh, being a native to Massachusetts. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I can definitely do this. And what better way to do it than just a random place in, I don't know, Lemur Boy 7's places? That'll work, I guess.
Up, I forgot my lava boots.
Forgot my lava boots. This particular clip came from a guy who tried to steal one of Mega Man 765's Super Mario 64 bloopers and put his own voice to it. The childish voice, you may, if you've been around like 9 years ago, you'll probably know who this guy is and the stupidity that he did. Some people, like myself, of course, wanted to parody that, and this is one of the two scenes in that skit, in that little video, that I tried to make a little, like, that I wanted to make a little skit out of, and that's the result of it. So, good on me for, good on me for making that little skit. Yup. There's the follow-up. And to rub it in his face, the I Wanna Be the Guy death music and the text to go with it. I remember when I was making this video, I believe it started around episode 6 that I was using that death sequence. And I remember the first time I saw it was that same guy I mentioned earlier in the video, Flesh Jerda. He's the one that actually started using this after playing the original I Wanna Be the Guy, which in turn was based off of old classics like, I don't even remember anymore. But yeah, I Wanna Be the Guy was probably one of the original Rage games. You probably know about that, but if you guys want me to make a video of I Wanna Be the Guy, please let me know in the comments, because dear God, any Rage game will make me rage quit. Like, honestly, I haven't played a Rage game in a while. Other than, obviously, getting over it. I had so many inspirations back in the day. It's just not funny anymore. Fun little fact, although episode 9 is muted, I still remember one scene that I made like a long time ago, and this was it. It's just a little still image. Me in a swimming pool. This was back during the days when the guys over at Roblox did not add in like water physics and stuff like that. They didn't add the water physics and everything, so all developers had to do was make a little make this. And so I was like, okay, do I remember seeing something that could potentially be used for this? And I was like, oh yeah, I think I remember seeing something that I could use. And I'm like, yeah, I could use that. So what I do is go into this game. I don't remember what it was called back then, but it would be in the credits of this particular episode. I remember going in here. I remember using the tool, waiting till I hit that point, and started hitting that record button. And then in post, I recorded this very line. Help! I is drowning! And click! Somehow, it fit. And now we go to the video that everyone remembers, episode 10. I had a lot of fun making this when I did, and to this day, I'm still proud of, actually, this video in particular. Before I go on, I want to make a mention that, those of you who have known me for a while do remember that I had a tendency to use Times New Roman in my videos, and that the reasoning for that was, I don't know, I just somehow liked the font when I kept using it in school, and somehow the font just carried over into my videos. Today, I'm like, it doesn't look funny anymore.
Oh god, let's hope this outage isn't any worse than the ice storm of '08.
The ice storm of '08. If you guys remember that, it took out power across much of New York, New England. My home in particular lost power at the time. My home in particular lost power for like that entire weekend, and I remember specifically that we lost like 2 weeks worth of school. Okay. Here's an idea. I invited some of my best buds, Yoshi Man, Swee Boy, and I believe someone else, to make me scenes for episode 10. Because I wanted to give it the idea that I had some scenes stolen from the time back in episode 9 when I announced, oh, scenes for episode 10 are stolen and I need your help. I asked some of these guys for my help and give me a couple of scenes, maybe 3-4 scenes, that would definitely have a place in the final cut for episode 10. Somehow, everyone complied, and I had some... And it worked out. It worked out.
Hello. Hello, Gene. You're a stupid head.
Ah, the old work at a pizza place. Those were the good old days when the telephone, the little text on the screen, if you see on the bottom there, that was back when work at a pizza place was still very early on in development, and Roblox was still in that phase where it's like, yeah, we're working on stuff. Just work with what we have and you'll be alright. I don't know how work at a pizza place became so successful after 10 years, and it still survives to this very day with all the developments on Roblox, and it's adapted to all those developments, like water physics, the updates to terrain and stuff like that, and all the updates to clickables. I don't remember what exactly Dude 1 did to adapt and build his place to what it is today. I'm sure that if you ask Dude 1 of the history of work at a pizza place, he'll probably cite this video as one of the historical moments that work at a pizza place has had, and he didn't even know about it. I'm sure he still doesn't know about this video today. This was back in the day when you had to use tools to click on stuff instead of making them just clickables. Instead of programming just clickables and the whole dialogue thing. Somehow, work at a pizza place just worked. By the way, Dude 1, if you're watching this and you haven't fixed it yet, The self-ordering feature in your work at a pizza place, with the update to the cashier job, it kind of broke. I mean, it still works as if it was back in the old days, but the order never goes into the cook system. If you can, please fix it. Thank you. I'm gonna make a comment. Back then, my voice was shit. I'm cringing at my own voice right now.
That spells laggy. No, you.
No, you. I still remember "No You" from when I made that. I'm like, okay, I can definitely work off of this somehow, and it worked. I think. Oh yeah, Metroid 998. That was the guy that that was the guy I remember contacting for a collab. Shit, who I was like, who do I remember? And I'm like, okay, now I remember. Was there a time when the player model was kind of being a dickhead on Roblox? Now I remember, because episode 10 was definitely filmed during that time when Roblox had that issue with the player model and not being able to make it move the way it did. It was kind of almost like still images. Back in the early days of Roblox. Surprised that somehow it still survived the whole issue. I don't remember if I ever stopped playing Roblox when it happened. But yeah, it happened. And that's the dark history of Roblox for you. Do you guys remember JJ5X5's Thrillville? That was one of the buttons that was on there. For a long time, when JJ5X5 actually added that button, I had no idea what to do with it. I was like, okay, it's there. So, maybe I can do something with it? Sure enough, it's there. That's what's happened. And definitely look at that. If I go in, I look back at it, and I'm like, I definitely actually had the right scene for this. But now I look at this and I'm like, gee, what a dumbass I was to think that could be a potential scene. It didn't work. And somehow I just went with it. I had no other idea how to use that, or I had no friends at the time to be like, okay, I could play a prank on this guy and be like, okay, touch that button, you'll get free cake. That would have been an idea, but sadly, none of my friends were online at the time, and I was like, gee, could I use the dumb character that I had, the dumb personality of the character that I had, and actually use that for this scene? I don't know if it worked. I don't remember if it worked. I had so many death music sounds during those days when I made these Roblox bloopers. I had so many ways of using them, and unsurprisingly, only a few survive to this day. I might still use some of them in a couple of videos, but I haven't found the one video that I want to use it on. I haven't found that yet.
Oh no! You sank my Jenga ship!
This is another one of those hints that I was a fan of Homestar Runner and still am to this day. I don't remember what the place was called for this, but somehow making the train fall off the track just seemed to work for this particular line. That was a very memorable one for the character Homestar in that series, Homestar Runner. Yeah, I have no other words to say about that. Blame me for not remembering what the actual song went when I filmed that. I was cringing. I'm cringing at my own humming, cringing at the thing I wanted to be inspired by this guy at the time, and me being utterly forgetful of how the original went and how I wanted to do it myself and make it my own. I'm thinking none of the scenes that I'm starting to think that none of the scenes I made worked. Somehow, something else is telling me I was wrong.
Wow, Dretta, you fail at glitching.
Dretta had a thing with glitching, just saying.
会話今俺とお前の間に勝敗の差はあるが力の差はない哀れみの絞りか
Okay. Two things I want to mention. Number one, you see that little green dot there? That was Roblox back in the day. That was Roblox back in the day, during those days where you point and click and all of a sudden your character just walks right there. It's a pathfinding thing. And second, I don't know how else to say this, but with the current nature of commenters on this, with the nature of commenters on YouTube today, and the nature of the internet and this time, and the offense that people have, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip a segment of this, just for your own sanity. Looking back at this, I'm like, the O face was perfect for this scene.
Good job, Chad. Thanks a lot. You know, being a male dancer's hard, especially when you gotta shave your huevos. That's why I use Huevo Splash. Huevo Splash, you sexy mother...
Who was the comedian that made that? I remember his last name was Francisco. Pablo Francisco, was it? God. Pedo Bear and his old tricks again. I'm cringing at this, but in particular, two reasons. Number one, my intention of using Pedo Bear as a way to lure kids, especially me as a teen, who was like, okay, perhaps I can use this in a way, and somehow using a green screen in Roblox somehow managed to make this work. I'm still not sure the gist of how this worked. But when I made this, I'm like, I've got to have a lure. And somehow using green lava as a brick managed to work. I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know how I made Pedo Bear a killer in the first place. I was dumb. I've only had to move my camera only temporarily just to show you this, but today, if you were fast enough to see it, you will see down here, content deleted. That was a little meme back in the old days when... I made that a meme back in the old days when content deleted was around to be like, okay, Roblox kind of hates this kind of shit that's going around, and they're like, okay, delete this shit. I was met with this specific phrase, including the brackets, multiple times in my time on Roblox, and even to this day, content deleted is still a thing. Now, here comes a scene that I still regret stealing from some old local friends. This might be annoying for those of you that have already seen this so many years ago. And it's still annoying to me. Just listen to the shit that I picked up.
Crazy. Let's go, World. Eat people.
Yep. That's the lame shit that teenagers can make. When I found it funny that they did it. That was me being a dumb teen. Now, I don't find it funny. I'm sorry, I just don't find it funny anymore. I am cringing right now because of, well, it's not all the shit that I did, but it was definitely the shit that I did, including stealing another scene specifically for this moment that I did. And I had another friend that I actually asked for voice clips for when I made this, and this is actually one of my favorite shorts that I did after episode 10 was done. But watch this.
So then I says to her, I says, there's no way a camel with a hump that small could fit in a door that big.
Hey guys, you forgot to wake me up!
Where was I? Oh yeah. So then I says to her, I says, there's no way a camel with a hump that small could fit in a door that big.
That scene in particular, I remember watching that at the time. I remember watching a little flash clip on Newgrounds called Skittles and Bits, and one of the scenes on there said something along the lines of, "Camel with a hump that small. Hey guys, you must have forgotten to wake me up. You guys are so funny." I asked the guy to specifically say, "Hey guys, you forgot to wake me up." Me being a dumb, I didn't even remember what the original was like. So I wanted to be all original and not say, "You guys are so funny." And I was dumb for not actually looking ahead and being like, yeah, you probably should have looked at the original scene when you made this. I no longer have contact with the person that I asked for voice clips for on that, but it is what it is nowadays. So yeah, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you can, and if you have been around as long as I have, you can do the same thing I did. Go back to the old content that you've made like 9-10 years ago and look back on it and be like, how have I improved since then? Because that's me. I've improved a lot since those days when I did shitty-ass bloopers, and even later on in that career, I was like, okay, I ran out of ideas. Maybe I'm going to go into actual gaming commentary videos. And somehow gaming commentary works to this day. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, leave a like, post a comment, share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for 2,000 followers on Twitter. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one. See you next time, everyone.